ASCE volunteers and members of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee came together to shine light on equitable representation in awards and recognition in scholarly publishing, and we make recommendations for an equitable and inclusive path ahead. Next slide. Our aim was to explore the current trends in impacting awards in scholarly publishing. Next slide, please.
We surveyed 5 organizations that are within the scholarly publishing field, and we collected publicly available data on awards that have been presented over the last 2 decades. We chose to focus on awardees' geographical location and their gender because this was the most readily available data. I'd like to share some disclosures. We recognize that data for protected characteristics are not presented here. The results do not reflect a full assessment of the representation of the award winners, and each organization was given an opportunity to review the data that we collected and to respond, provide updates or corrections. The organizations we surveyed were the American Library Association. We focused on their Professional Recognition Achievement Awards, the Association of Learned and Professional Society for Scholarly Publishing, and the International Society of Managing and Technical Editors.
The results that we found were particularly striking in terms of the geographical location of the awardees. 186 of the awardees were based in the USA, 24 in the UK, and only 2 were based in the Southern Hemisphere, with 1 from the Asia Pacific region and 1 based in South Africa. Next slide, please. Looking at the awards by gender, there was some significant variation between the different organisations that we looked at. Overall, 59% of the awardees were women, but this varied significantly and could be representative of the demographics of the organisations, although we were not able to verify that. Next slide, please. Overall, I think it's important to note that we don't have full demographic data of the organisations, and we don't have full demographic data of the awardees themselves. And so firm conclusions can't be drawn about the extent of the inclusive or equitable practices at these organisations. I think it's important to note that in our discussions with the organisations, all of them are making an effort to improve the equity of their awards. And so it's going to be interesting to monitor the change of those, the impact of those changes going forward.
We would like to offer some recommendations to promote equity in awards processes. We advise appointing diverse selection committees at the outset. Also, standardizing the transparent and inclusive processes for nomination and evaluation. We also advise to publicize awards to historically excluded communities to ensure access to all. We suggest using inclusive, bias-free language for award nominations with the option to self-nominate. We also encourage organizations to collect and share informed and consented demographic data. And we also encourage periodically reviewing practices and policies to ensure current best practice. We offer these references for further reading, and we would like to thank the SSP, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, for valuable comments on our poster. We also especially thank the participating organizations who have so generously provided publicly available data that allowed this poster to be possible. We also appreciate the efforts that they are making to improve equity in awards processes. And we thank you all very much for taking the time to view our poster.